What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to Tactical Newbie, the channel where a newbie like me gets into all things tactical. With the funny movie introductions out of the way per usual, like we always do, let's get right into today's video. Today's video is going to be yet another tactical comparison video, a part of the tactical comparison segment of videos that I do feature on the channel. For those of you that are not familiar with the tactical comparison segment of videos, it is essentially where I take a Gucci product, I highlight that specific Gucci product, and then I cross-compare it to its clone, knockoff, budget-friendly counterpart, perform a 360-degree review of both products, highlight the good, the bad, and ugly between the two products, and basically at least provide the consumer, tactical-minded consumer, or somebody watching the channel, at least a more budget-friendly alternative to the otherwise more inflated price on the Gucci brand name. All in all, it's basically, like I said, just a comparison between these two products. You can decide either route that you want to go based on the information that I provide. But across the board, the main purpose of the tactical comparison segment of videos is, as I did explain, to provide a more budget-friendly alternative for those of you that might at least be a little bit more pinched financially based on the current economy or a number of different things. And you at least have an option to go instead of waiting around and trying to accumulate a certain amount of money for the more high-end alternative. But with all the rambling out of the way, let's get right into today's video. Today's tactical comparison segment will be featuring the Agilite. I believe these are the flank side panels. Essentially what these are side panel pouches meant for side armor that you can install on both the Agilite K19 and also the Agilite K0. And I'll be cross-comparing it to the Tacticon Armament side panels. Essentially, I believe these are called the retractor side panels. These are modeled or at least copied off of Agilite's phase 1, or at least the first introductory to their side panel idea before they created basically a rebrand into the flank, more kind of aesthetically pleasing, slick style side plate pouches. Both of these pouches do have, obviously, huge differences between the two of them. Like I said, this is more kind of like a phase 1 variant that was generally for the Agilite K19. And then this is their newer alternative. Most of the, at least the phase 1 side pouches that Agilite does sell, or at least are off the market now. I think they're pretty much discontinued. So the only way you can really find these versions of them, at least in the Agilite brand that do have the Agilite kind of tag down at the bottom, is through secondhand shops or other at least distributors that might have an influx of these still available to sell. But since they are discontinued, Agilite does not sell these items directly, so you would have to get them somewhere else. Or, like I said, if you could get at least essentially the knockoff variant either through Tacticon Armament, or to save yourself more money, go through AliExpress, because you can definitely get them for a more reduced price than what you would pay for through Tacticon Armament. I did buy these initially well before I knew at least the huge swath of budget-friendly clone alternatives that are available on AliExpress. If I knew that ahead of time, I definitely probably would have went that route versus the Tacticon Armament. But since I do have these products, I am going to highlight them, at least cross-compare them, like I said, to the Agilite flank, and at least show you, again, a more affordable option to go. I will highlight the AliExpress links, so that way, if you don't want to go through TA, you could go to AliExpress, essentially get the same product for the most part. But again, this is at least what I have on hand, so this will be the product that I'll be comparing instead of buying at least another set of these through AliExpress when I already had an available set to do a cross comparison. But with all the rambling out of the way, let's get right into the video, and I will see you guys on the other side. Alrighty guys, and away we go. So first we will start by taking a look at the Agilite flank side plate carrier or plate pouches. Retail price is $79.90, obviously plus tax, as at least accompanied by the screenshot over there to the left. And we will be cross comparing those pouches to the Tacticon Armament side pouches. Retail price is $29.95. So all in all, these two, at least, pouches are significantly different in both price and aesthetic look. I will touch on a little bit of the aesthetics at the later part of this video, so please at least stay tuned for that. From here, we'll at least provide an overview, or at least an over-the-top look of the two different pouches, as well as a price comparison between the two of them, the $79.90 and the $29.95. Now, pretty much from here, we'll at least kind of start with the Agilite flank and kind of give a mock overview of the product within itself. The actual flank, at least side panels, are at least integrated to fit both the K0 plate carrier as well as the K19 plate carrier. Internal mounting for the K0, external mounting for the K19, as well as it is at least cross-comparatively able to at least be installed onto the Warfighter cummerbund. So if you do at least a retrofit on your K19 and put the Warfighter cummerbund on it, then those at least plate panels will go on the inside mounting and not the exterior mounting. The actual pouches with themselves can fit both a 6x6 or a 6x8 size plates. Again, they are at least designed to be mounted both internally and externally for quote-unquote low-profile MOLLE attachment. Integrated low-profile rib cage padding to avoid any sort of chafing whatsoever. Kind of do a mock overview of the specs. The dimensions are 7x6.5 by 8 inches. And then the weight is 90 GR. The materials are made of laser cut Velcro overlay panels and 500D Kedora mil-spec tactical nylon. Again, with the whole tactical nylon thing. Again, as I did kind of highlight, they are compatible for both the K19 and the at least the K0 plate carriers. Overall quality is very, very good, cross-comparatively, as you would expect from Agilite. You can obviously MOLLE these bad boys on. I'm sure they can be retrofitted onto any other manufacturers, not just specifically Agilite. Have not experienced, or at least experimented with that myself as of yet, but obviously I would assume that they could be cross-integrated onto other cummerbund systems. From here, we'll at least then start by taking a look at the at least the Tacticon Armament variant. The Tacticon Armament side pouch comes in a set of two, as well as the flank side pouches, so keep that in mind. They can fit both 6x6 and 6x8 armor plates for the most part. They're fully removable and installable on any other plate carrier system, which also includes Tacticon Armament's variant of the Battle Vest Elite, which essentially is a direct knockoff of the Agilite K19. Specs and dimensions overall, this specific product does come in desert sand, flat dark earth, tan, ranger green, black, coyote brown, and olive drab. The dimensions are 8x8 by 1.75 inches, and the weight is 0.5 ounces. So cross-comparatively, like I did state, there is some significant differences between this specific pouch and the Agilite flank pouch. While the dimensions for the most part are very, very similar, you can tell aesthetically there's quite a little bit more compartmentalization, or compartments, at least in this specific pouch. Most of the reasons why that these two pouches are so significantly different is that actually this is the Tacticon Armament knockoff variant is actually a direct knockoff variant of the Agilite, at least Phase 1 pouch that they featured at least had released prior to the flank pouch. This specific pouch, as you can tell by at least the link, is called the Retractor, and the average price, at least from a lot of different distributors, is about $79.90 for the actual side plate pouches. Keep in mind that this product, the Retractor, for the most part, is completely discontinued from Agilite as far as I'm aware, so the only way to actually get the Agilite variant of this specific side armor pouch is by getting it by a secondhand distributor who might either have an overstock of the specific products or can sell them used. So that's one of the biggest significant differences between at least the Tacticon Armament, at least side pouches, and the Agilite flank side pouches. Technically, the Tacticon Armament variant is still a knockoff. It's just a knockoff of Agilite's older product before they completely did a rebrand and completely phased out the Retractor style side plate pouches for the most part, and instead went for this more streamlined, slick look for their new, at least, side plate power, the flank side plate pouches, as I just stumble all over my words. For the most part, now what we're going to do is at least take a look at the two pouches comparatively, as I did give kind of a breakdown visually of the Tacticon Armament variant. As you can tell, at least between the Tacticon Armament variant, you do have that front face molly that you can molly certain components on, does allow that availability, while the flank does not. While it does, at least the flank offers more additional cushioning, obviously, because you don't have a lot of those kind of, at least, difference in textures kind of rubbing into your skin. It has that kind of flat seam line look to allow for, like I said, any type of chafing. You don't get the availability that you wanted to add any additional bells and whistles to the front face of that specific flank side panel, because obviously there's nothing to molly onto. For the most part, though, comparatively looking at these two pouches, again, both of them can fit 6x6 and 6x8 side plates, so both of them can at least cross comparatively offer at least a little bit of deviation to different size plates depending on the size ones that you have. The molly system on the back side of both of these at least, plate bags for the most part are pretty significantly different as well, but I think for the most part they would take up about the same amount of real estate on a cummerbund system for the most part, give or take. I mean, at least I haven't noticed any significant difference between these being the Tacticon variant being mollied onto my Tacticon Armament Battle Vest Elite versus at least the flanks being mollied on to my Agilite K19. All in all, just kind of, again, providing at least a visual representation between the two products. As I will highlight again, and probably another time before the end of this video, these items are not direct comparisons to one another, like some of the other items that I have featured on at least the channel, especially the tactical comparison channel. So while these are a comparison of essentially what appears to be two separate products, they are more comparatively similar than you would believe, and again, as I did highlight, the Tacticon Armament variant is actually still a knockoff of the Agilite brand, just a knockoff of the Phase 1 or first set of side panel pouches, that's a lot of P's, that they offered before they, were running with them for a little bit and then discontinued the product and then reintroduced side pouches with the flank. The actual internal pouches are of good construction. I've at least provided a 360 review, checked the stitching on both the products. Stitching looks very, very strong on all avenues. Haven't had any issues with the Tacticon Armament variant, and at least up to this date. Obviously, the flanks are a little bit newer in products, but all in all, haven't had any issues with the flanks as well. Now, keep in mind that both of these side pouches, I have not integrated side plate armor in them yet. Obviously, the amount of weight that you integrate into these pouches is really going to be the truest test of quality of those pouches. So just keep in mind that at least to this present point, neither one of these pouches have any legitimate weight in them. They are just, at this point, just mock assembled on both of the plate carrier systems. After this video, of course, to be ready to have integrated in them plates at least a later date. Alrighty, and now and from here we'll just kind of wrap up with just a final look of both of the products. Like I said, all in all, comparatively, these products are not as similar of a cross comparison in the tactical comparison segment of videos as I have featured with some of the other, at least more direct knockoffs of the two whatever two products that I am featuring, especially if you want to take a look at the most recent video before this one, which was at least for the Agilite, admin pouches between the two of them, and then the one before and before that was the Agilite Magnetics belt. So like I said, by at least reference of some of my previous videos, these are not as direct of a one-for-one tactical, quote-unquote tactical comparison as what I featured with some of the other knockoffs, but the main purpose of highlighting the Tacticon Armament variant is because it is in essence and in fact a knockoff of at least Agilite's brand, the side at least pouches that they offered before they retrofitted to the flank. So if you're looking to do a mock old OG style with the Agilite brand and you want to actually utilize the Agilite at least Phase 1 side pouches. At least going through Tacticon, you can get a pretty decent price of $29.95 as opposed to paying like $80 for that. Alrighty guys, I hope you liked the video. Of course, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let me know what you think of this tactical comparison video, a part of the tactical comparison segment of videos that I do feature on the channel. I will have at least a couple more tactical comparison videos, at least after this specific video that you're watching, to follow at least in suit to kind of complete this lengthy run of tactical comparison options that I kind of had in the slate of videos within the last couple weeks. And then eventually, if you're this far along, at least in the video, we'll be leading into a couple more budget builds, a couple more Gucci builds to at least highlight some of the items that I did feature and their build out and kind of at least affiliation to some of the play carriers that I already have and I've featured on the channel. So do look forward to that. I will also be leading into a couple highlights after those budget builds for both a low budget loadout update and of course a Gucci gear loadout update, at least video after those builds. Again, at least standard for some of the videos that I feature on the channel, at least highlight basically a full 360-degree view of the build and give you price points on all of the at least components on that specific build, both of the low budget end and of the Gucci end. So again, just providing you guys options for low budget, at least alternatives, and if not low budget, at least price points on the Gucci alternatives. So that way you at least have a general metric for how much you're going to be spending if you decide to go either route. But with all the rambling out of the way, I'll touch on the same stuff that I normally touch on at the end of every video. I do have a Twitter/X. Feel free to hit the link down in the description down below if you want to follow me there. I also do have a Patreon. Link is in the description down below as well. Hit that link if you want to contribute anything to the Tactical Newbie channel. Keep in mind that all of the products that I do feature on this channel are self-funded by myself. Every dollar that I spend goes basically out of my paycheck to be able to at least feature items to you, the viewer, so that way I can create, a lot of these at least cross-comparison, tactical comparison videos, highlight some of these budget builds, highlight some of these knockoff optics, which I will be touching on in the future, at least at the later part of this year and early into 2026, and also some other things hopefully down the road into the next year. But with all the rambling out of the way, I will see you guys next week.